They turned the page.
Right.
But good. We're making a lot of good coins today. We're coining things properly. They turned the page. But you know what? That $1 billion could help how many of our elderly,
Of
our
course,
veterans,
yes.
our NYCHA people,
Yeah, night
our
shift.
mentally
Yeah,
ill people, our
that are still in the
homeless,
street.
our
And
children with
that's
disabilities,
right.
our sick. I mean, it's just unfathomable. And I say this all the time. And I'm really, really, really upset right now with how the city's going. And I think most all of us are.
Yeah,
I
we
think
are.
everyone.
Yeah,
It's
we are.
unfathomable how the governor, the mayor, the city council, these elected folks in Albany, it's the state, city, and local level, how every policy, everything they do is just to destroy us. It's detrimental to our well being, to our families, to our neighbors, to our children, to our grandchildren, and future generations. And I don't know how much longer as a nation, as a city, as a state we could take this, but I can tell you, we go around, Queen's Voice goes around we go around the country actually, but we do focus mostly in New York. And there's nobody that we talk to and they're like, yeah, everything's great. Everybody's upset, they're concerned, they're worried, they're scared, they're angry, they're pissed off, however you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
And how people allow this same party, this same group of evil, vicious people to remain in power, I just can't understand. It's almost like let's just shoot ourselves in the head and for good measure in the kneecaps.
Right.
It just makes no sense. So my point is to our viewers out there, you've seen what happens with a one-party city and state, and obviously you have to be dumb, deaf, and blind to think everything's okay and we're headed in the right direction because it's obviously not. It's obviously a fact that we're in big trouble. So what I'd like to say is to our viewers, if you can vote for Edwina Herrera, she's running for the 34th district in the Bronx and Lower Westchester, New Rock City, or Stephanie Leggio, who's running here on the 83rd district in the Bronx. At least you owe it to yourself to look up what these women are about
That's right.
and see what their ideas and values are versus who's there already, and weigh it out. What's better for you? What's better for your family? What's better for your neighbors? What's better for your coworkers? Like, you have to be pragmatic and really look at things from a grassroots movement, from the bottom up, because we're in a lot of trouble. So before I let these two brave ladies who really didn't mince their words at all, and I think they should be commended for coming out here. No, really, and the fact that they haven't been covered more and they have so much great stuff to say and they're very smart and they're very informed, it's just baffles me something how people like you don't, and it's not just you girls. A lot
Yeah, of course,
of
yeah,
people are
yeah,
being
yes.
deliberately not covered.
That's right.
And that's why we wanted to come up here to the Bronx today and cover these gals. And it's not just them, and there's countless others that we could probably put a bunch of names on this sheet, and I'd probably have to spend 3 weeks just interviewing everybody
Right.
to just even cover them. But look up these two ladies, and before we let you guys go, is there any way or any way people can volunteer or donate or help you guys out, pick up a yard sign, something like it, buy a hat or a shirt, and also besides websites, any events coming up that you girls are going to be part of that you'd like to invite your constituents to come down to?
You can start.
Well,
Well, look, the spotlight's on you.
right? Well, I'm having here in Parkchester at Archer's Bar and Grill a smoke, cigar, and scotch night.
Fun.
And,
Okay.
and just to
So
to
come
get
by
into
if you're
the area.
21 and over with ID.
21 an ID. Well, you don't need an ID. That's the way this city's
Just tell
going.
people you're going to vote.
They're going to
Yeah.
vote. Yeah, you'll be just fine.
Tell them Adam sent you.
Yeah, and what we're doing, I want to, like you said, we don't get any money. We have to really, it's like grassroots. So we'd like for you to donate to my campaign. It's Herrera for New York. And we'll be there tonight from 7 to 10. I have a great lineup. I have Kenny Wu is coming, a comedian. And he's going to, make us laugh.
Because we need to laugh in these
Yeah,
times.
a little laugh, a little bit
Yeah.
of what's going on. And the 34th district is something I'm new to, but I'm not new to the life and the livelihood and my money and the quality of life and common sense issues. Those are the things that I could represent while I'm here in the 34th. It's just time for us to stand up. So I'm gonna be there. We're gonna tell some jokes. I don't drink. But the people that are there, they might want to drink whatever.
Don't drink too much.
Right.
And don't drive.
Drive, whatever.
Take an Uber.
Yeah, and some other things are coming up, but I'll keep you guys posted and follow me on Instagram because I'm new to this Instagram thing.
Okay.
Because us older folks, we kind of got to figure it out a little bit.
Listen, you guys will
So I
get
have
it.
help,
You
I have
get
help,
it.
I have help. I have a team.
And let me ask you this: on your website, any future events will all be listed there and stuff like that?
Yeah, the future events will be there, and all my pictures and all those good things, and just tap into what I'm saying. And I'm really for the people. I'm a servant. I served New York City for 22 years as a traffic agent, tow operator for this city. So all I know is to be a servant. And I know what it is to serve New York because I've been here all my life. So yeah, that's what it's about.
And you're looking to serve more.
And I want to serve more. Come on, give it to me. Come on now.
Listen, we said, what do you have to give the woman a chance? What do you have to lose?
What you got to lose? You know what? You know they say that charity starts at home, and this is the only home I know. So let's do it together. We're unstoppable if we do it together.
So,
Well said.
thank you. I do not have upcoming events, but I, of course, need volunteers to help me go door to door because I feel like that's where my time needs to be spent. And people are so disconnected
Okay.
in the northeast part of the Bronx. There is no one how to get to everyone. So I want to go to the people. So if anyone in that district wants to host me for a town hall, out on the sidewalk, street corner, wherever you want to go, it's forthepeople83.com is my website, forthepeople83.com. You can email me at info@forthepeople83.com. My phone number for the campaign, I am brave enough to give it
Sure,
out,
go ahead.
is 914-573-7403. You can text me or call me. I pick it up myself. It's on my phone.
She does. She's very accessible.
Very accessible.
She doesn't have any 10 secretaries. She picks up herself and texts
I do it
herself.
myself. I have worked in 19 years in a service role. I sell title insurance.
So you came from insurance and real estate.
Yes, I'm in the real estate sector. I sell title insurance, so for 19 years. But I also did, in my previous life, I had worked at Jazz and Lincoln Center as an admin, and I also I worked as a food server in restaurants for a few years to get myself through college. So I do understand that service attitude, and I think too, it's bringing that mindset, that common sense New York mentality of being a servant in a representative government. So how do we bring your ideas, your concepts
Yes.
for how to fix New York? How do we bring that to Albany? And
Yeah.
Rena and I think, can address that issue
Yes, we
very
can.
professionally.
Yes, we can.
Well said by both ladies. And, once again, what do you have to lose with the 83rd District in the Bronx, Stephanie Legeo? Give her a chance. What do you have to lose? How much worse could any of these girls do than the current people holding? I mean, honestly, what could they do worse than what's already been
About
done?
who I'm running against.
Would you like to? Listen, we can talk about who. There's nothing off topic here with Queensville.
Okay.
If you want to say anything about anybody, or even shame anybody, you girls have the floor.
I don't want to shame, but Carl
I wanna-
Hasty is the representative of the 83rd Assembly District in the Bronx. He has had this
Worse.
position for over 20 years,
Yes.
and he, as the Speaker of the Assembly, has ushered in every policy that is affecting our pockets. And again, he, as a leadership in Albany, stepped aside and let Governor Cuomo and Governor Hochul do what they thought was best throughout COVID. He needs to be held responsible
So
as well.
he has sold out not only the folks in the 83rd
83rd
district,
district.
but he sold
The entire
out.
state.
He sold us all out
Yeah.
because
The
he
entire
wields tremendous power,
Correct.
and he let first Cuomo, now hapless Hochul. He's basically allowing tyrants to be tyrants. Is that an accurate?
I mean, he's in the back room.
Backroom
with
deals?
Andrea Stewart Cousins and Ms. Hochul deciding which bills will come out of
An-
committee
another
and
one who
come
has to
before.
go, Cousin Stewart, causing the cashless bail and all this mayhem and murder. A lot of blood on her hands, I think.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's right.
Correct.
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 And
And same
tell
thing
us as
with-
well, who are you running against, and what's the issues with them that you believe they've caused harm to the community? What are you going to do to fix that, or what wouldn't you do that they've done?
Well, she's a protege from Carl Hastings.
Yes.
So
He
she's
has
sort of
many.
saying,
He
yeah,
has
that's his
So,
student.
so a student of Carl Hasty
Yeah.
who is someone who's been detrimental to the citizens of this city and state. I mean, I don't know how else to slice it.
Yeah, that's
Someone that hasn't done the right thing. Let's
That's
just
right.
call a spade a spade.
That's right. The Italian-
They vote as a block.
Yeah,
They vote as a block,
Yeah.
and it's never in the citizens' best interest.
Never. I think her name is Natalia Fernandez. No
Okay.
one knows her.
Wow.
No one. I've been to New Rochelle, Pelham. I've been in.
And let me guess, she's never seen in the community?
Never.
Okay.
I've heard the same thing about Carl.
Right,
Isn't
Carl
that
is-
interesting?
Carl is-
Well,
that's
we've
what-
heard that about, we've heard, he is around election time, they come up for votes, you see them, and they have a photo op
I
here,
was
yeah.
accused of that.
Yeah.
All you candidates come out at election time. I said, sir, this is the first time I'm running. But if that's your complaint, I
That's
live
all.
in the area. I will be
Sure.
here every weekend if you need me to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how Natalia is. She's done nothing, and she doesn't have to do anything. And the reason why I ran is because she ran unopposed.
That's right. Carl as well runs
They,
on a
they run
post.
unopposed. No
So,
one runs against these guys.
You know what, that, a really good point that the girls are bringing up, and we've had a lot of people complain to us about this in Queens anyway, there's 18 seats right now unopposed. There's not even anybody on the court to challenge them.
And in Manhattan, And in Brooklyn
And the
in
Bronx is probably
I
no
don't think
different.
we have
Yeah.
anymore. I think Staten Island is probably the one borough where you do have some competition, but it's
Yeah.
a different story there. But
So-
I'm a co-founder of an organization called Project Civica, and they set out this year to look for candidates in
Yes.
those areas. We called it Fill the 48,
Fill the
so
48.
that there would be every incumbent would be challenged because
Yes.
that's the number that would break the supermajority
Yes,
in
right.
Albany.
That's right.
And
now-
it just seems democratic that we have someone on each side.
Of course.
Like, you
That's
can't
what
go
I
unopposed.
thought.
I mean, isn't that a dictator?
Democracy.
Yeah.
Don't we want democracy?
So I would say this then. So very, very good points the ladies are making. So these incumbents have obviously done nothing good or have done nothing at all, which I don't know what's worse, but they're both losers in my opinion. But
I'd rather them do nothing than do the harm they've done.
agreed. But both would be, do nothing and then do harm. They're both negative. So my point being is, we all like options. I'm a big. I don't like to eat the same food every day. One night I want one takeout. I might want Mexican. The next day maybe I want
Right.
Italian.
That's
so on and
right.
so on. So I like options. That's one great thing about New York. There's
That's
a lot
right.
of cuisine.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah, a lot of options. We should all have options when we're voting. To have somebody who's there running unopposed, that's basically the establishment telling you that's what you're getting. You're gonna go to a store and there's only one size, one color shirt. What does that tell you? I mean, it's like another, it's just like our crazy governor. Soon she wants us to all be forced to buy electric cars. We like choices. We don't like dictators. So shame on you, Hochul. But getting back to that, we shouldn't have any seat anywhere in this country where there's not two people running.
Right.
Now,
Correct.
one
Yeah,
person's
but-
going to win and one person's going to lose. That's fine.
Right.
That's the way things go.
No
But
primary.
nobody, and this should be a wake up call to those people, citywide especially, who are running the segments of the GOP. Like, you
Yeah.
guys got to get your act together.
Yes.
Unopposed seats means it's an automatic loss. You're forfeiting the game and not
Yes.
showing up.
That's
For a
right.
lack of terminology.
That's right.
So obviously it's a little too late in this election coming up in November, but you guys have to get on the ball, put candidates up against the other side, because you're just waving the white surrender flag and you don't have to do that.
No.
There's a lot of people, there's a lot of good candidates out there, not just these two girls, but there's a lot of other men and women throughout the boroughs that would be great candidates that would have a good chance if
Yes,
they
they
only
would.
stepped up and got in front of the camera and had the public hear what they have to say, like these ladies. So
Correct.
don't allow, I think it should be something that infuriates people that you're going on the ballot and one person. That's like walking into the store and saying, hey, it's just going to be meatloaf. No, I want chicken. I want pot. No, you're going to get meatloaf.
Yeah.
We have to have, we're Americans. We're New Yorkers.
That's
We
right.
should demand that there's a choice. There has to be at least two people running in any election. And another thing I would say, there should be a law passed that if you're going to run, you must do one debate. Too many of the incumbents, and we've offered plenty, I'm speaking on the Queens area in particular, but I'm sure it percolates throughout the boroughs. Our incumbents who are longtime political hacks have their deep roots. They don't want to go out and talk. They don't want anyone to debate them. They'd rather stay in the basement like Kamala and Joe, which to me is just un-American. It's just disgusting. So if you're willing and you want to represent the public, then speak to the public. Debate your counterpart on the other side so that man or woman's views can be known as well as yours. And the people who go out there and pull the lever in the voting box, they have the choice. So I think that's important, that we have to have two people in each election at least. You can't just have, hey, this one's running and he or she's unopposed. They're just an automatic lock.
Right.
That sounds
That's
very
not
North
democratic.
Korean,
Right.
very
Very
communist.
Totalitarian.
Totalitarian, yes.
Very authoritarian.
Yes.
which is
Very
what
un-American.
Yeah, very un-American.
Republicans get accused of being authoritarian. And
No.
I think there's a time and a place to have that conversation about which party is actually being more authoritarian.
Sure.
In a New York State where we don't have primaries, active primaries,
No.
that I don't think AOC even in her primary had a debate with a young man that was running
She
against
was
her.
actually running against someone who's a friend of our show, Marty Dolan.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's, had a great ground game. We saw him all the time. We did a lot of pieces
did.
on him. Nice, very nice guy.
Yeah, he did.
Smart guy, financial guy. Unfortunately, she did win pretty significantly in the
she
in the
did.
primary, and now she's going against the GOP side is another Bronx girl, Tina Forte,
The Forte.
who is very popular with our audience. We just did a piece with her at our grand opening here just a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
a couple weeks
Yeah, I
ago,
think it was
yeah.
the
And
second.
we were looking for you yesterday, Tina. We didn't see you outside the arena at the Trump rally. Doesn't mean she wasn't there. We just didn't see her. We
Right,
were
right.
trying to cover everybody. It was packed.
Yeah.
But we're hoping, I've made no secret, I'd love to get rid of Crazy Eyes AOC. I think she's not only a detriment for the people of the Bronx and the Queens, but she's a disaster for our country.
Yes, she is.
I mean, she's a cancer that has to be eradicated. She's horrible, and she's dangerous.
Yes, she's very dangerous.
Her principles are dangerous. What she stands for is very dangerous because that brings us back to our energy. This clean new,
The green new scam.
green new scam. This clean energy cannot sustain itself without coal-powered electricity, without fracking for gas.
Yes.
Which is a fact. So to everybody out there understand. So that means our cousins in Pennsylvania and hopefully upstate soon will be able to frack and continue, and then also our cousins in West Virginia got to get in those coal mines and get the coal out.
That's right.
Correct. All of
And we
this
can't
is
send it all to
suppressing-
China.
No.
Right, because when you suppress all of these energy resources, and I can get into another issue in a second, that suppresses that districts and neighborhoods from development. So developers don't want to go in. And
Absolutely.
again, we can talk about the Bronx, where the only development I see is NYCHA housing. But
And before that was only the new Yankee Stadium, unfortunately.
Right. But when you talk about the clean new energy scam, the biggest part is where they talk about zero carbon output.
Oh, please.
Does that mean no life on Earth? Because the last I saw,
Well-
every time you exhale, that's carbon.
Well, they don't want you to have a
output.
dog because the dog poops,
That's right.
and some of them don't want you to have children because the children poop.
That's right.
Right. I think what's overlooked, I've learned recently, is that our soil this is how the Earth works in conjunction with people and plant life.
Sure.
That the soil absorbs all of that negative carbon output, and it takes that and creates a mineral from it.
Of course.
Deep seated, and
Right.
that's where we grow our vegetables from. So forcing farmers for all of these generations now to only grow corn in high numbers, which only puts high fructose corn syrup in every piece and every manufactured piece of food that
That's
we
right.
consume.
That's right.
And please stop consuming it. So it's been detrimental in that way for us, and then it has also caused the minerals in our farmland to deteriorate because you're not turning it over
that's right,
properly.
properly.
So I'm learning all of that farming process, and I'm very curious about how we can now switch back to the way it was
Sure,
to
sure.
make it better for us. Because our food sources, we have plenty of land where we can grow our own
Plenty of
food
it.
instead of putting solar farms that will burn out the land and not produce any food for us.
And speaking of food, our counterpart in the southern hemisphere, Brazil, has passed us in terms of food production. So, nothing against Brazil. It's kind of like a second home to me. So I don't have anything ill will to them. But we've let another country pass us in food production, which is scary. And the fact that we have so many farms being bought by the Chinese communists, and a
Oh,
lot of them
very
happen
scary.
to be
Yeah.
this close to a military installation,
Very
is
scary.
Yeah.
something else that.
Should never,
never
have
happen.
been allowed.
And they also control most of our pork industry.
Yes, they
Yes.
do. All of them.
And we hear a lot of people, including the president, complaining how bacon's so expensive.
Yeah.
So
Well, what about Boar's Head just had an issue with a
That's
recall?
right.
yeah,
And what was that from?
Yeah.
Marina, do you know?
China.
yeah. So
No, it was the migrants that were working
Right.
at a facility and infested it. Yeah.
I
Wow.
did not know that. See, learn
They
something
had a
every day.
recall with certain
I mean,
batches.
either
Oh,
which
so there
way
you go.
shouldn't have.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard different stuff, but either which way shouldn't have happened. And unfortunately, a big name brand like that, they're gonna have a price to pay. Literally, I'm sure
Yeah,
the lawyers are lining up, and
Yeah, they're
there'll be
gonna-
litigation and court
Yeah,
action, and
yeah.
we don't wish any bad on anybody, but.
Especially not Boar's Head.
Nah,
And they do
boys,
employ a lot of people here.
Since I've been
Yeah,
70s.
so we don't want to see
Listen,
any of our
it's
a- right, right,
Americans,
right, right.
Family tradition.
Yeah, Boar's Head.
I mean, I love horse head.
Yeah, I grew up with it.
I mean, the oven go
Honey,
turkey,
honey.
the pepper turkey.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like horse head?
Who doesn't like
The ham. I mean, everything's good.
I don't like Stu Lennox. I like
And they have a lot of. They
Stu
create a lot of jobs here, a lot of franchises.
Yes.
Independent
They do.
mom and pops that have those trucks. So we don't want to see them, get hurt and reduce jobs or anything like that. But unfortunately, they will have some monetary price to
Right.
pay.
Right.
Sooner or later, there'll be some kind of class action. I'm sure, individual suits, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, a few people did die.
Yeah, I think some.
Yeah.
Yeah, got very sick. So it's unfortunately, we don't want to see anyone die or
No,
get hurt.
never,
Unfortunately.
Never. You don't want to lose any life.
But I think you guys who are watching should have a good understanding of what the intentions of these two women here are, what they're looking to do, where they came from, why they're running, and why it's important to, at a minimum, no matter what party you're affiliated with, look these two women up, see what they're about, like I said prior, see who they're running against. They're running against, one person doesn't do much and one person does a lot of damage. So, both equally bad. And, listen, not only, the people of the Bronx and in your case, New Rochelle deserve better.
Yeah.
And in general, the people in this city, state, and country, unfortunately, have been really getting just killed by our government, literally. And the people really deserve a lot better. We all do, especially here in New York, the principal city of our country. You see, you go to Times Square, it's worse than, in my opinion, when it was in the 80s.
Yes, it is.
You go throughout the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, everywhere is just
Everywhere.
a disaster.
It is.
And, some places worse than others, but no place has escaped, what's become of us, unfortunately. Some places are feeling it more and some less, but I think it's safe to say no matter where we live in the 5 boroughs, we're all feeling this, and I don't think there's much to be happy about. And I think everybody should be irate and go out and vote for change. And like I've said, and like these 2 ladies have said, what do you have to lose by giving these 2 ladies a shot?
That's right.
I mean, they can't do any worse than the people they're running against, honestly. If they tried, they couldn't. I mean, it's not possible.
Just not in our heart.
And obviously not in their heart. They're obviously good-hearted women who are, looking to fix and uplift their constituents and their communities. And on a serious note, obviously they have good hearts, but you have to see who they're up against, what these policies are, whether it's someone who's done nothing to very little, or someone who's done just horrible things to us, and let have 2 governors in a row do whatever they
Yes.
want,
Yeah.
and let other bad apples in legislate do what they want, and that has to be stopped. And the only way it's going to stop is when we, the people, get up and vote, and vote new people in. And it's that black and white. It's that simple.
sir.
You have to get up and vote. So I would like to thank Stephanie, and I would like to thank Edwina for coming here today, sitting down with us, taking their time out. Please look up their websites. If you like what they're about, please donate, please volunteer, buy a hat, buy a sticker, a shirt, whatever they have available. And if you can come down to their events, come down to their events. And I'd like to thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out
Thank
here.
Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
These girls were more than candid, and like I said, we try to cover people, topics, and stories that the mainstream media, the fake news, the regular media just doesn't want to cover. And we really felt that, not that they're isolated to just these 2 ladies, but there's a lot of people we've covered. We obviously can't cover everybody, but we try to cover as many people running, especially folks on the GOP side. It just seems like they're trying to put them under the carpet, and it doesn't sit well with Queen's voice. So with that being said, if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do so. To those who've donated, please do so. Again, if you can, and donate for the first time if you haven't. And also look into our book, The 1984 Chevron Doctrine, that myself and a few of our staff co-wrote. It's available on Amazon. And we appreciate all the support. Appreciate the 2 ladies for coming here. Wish everybody a safe, prosperous day. And this is Peter Kafalis reporting from the Bronx today. Take care, everybody, and be kind to each other.